So today for the 31 days of October, I watched The Serpent and the Rainbow, which is one of Wes Craven's movies that I've wanted to see, but I've never really heard anything about this one. I feel like this one is forgotten by the sands of time. In terms of being directed by Wes Craven, I just hear nothing about The Serpent and the Rainbow ever. And watching it, I understand why, because this movie, I think, as a whole, is a good movie. Like it's like Wes Craven can direct a movie, and he does a great job at directing this. But this movie is so unique and different that I feel like people have immediately forgotten it, and that's weird. It's like an ironic thing where like it's so unique, but then it's forgettable because it was so unique. It's so weird because this one, to me, watching it, I did enjoy it, but I felt like even though it was really unique, I felt like I lost touch with it for some reason. Like I thought that I never fully, like I thought it was like I appreciate the movie and its uniqueness and being different, but like I don't think I'll ever watch it again. Like it just, to me, I watched it and was like, okay, that was totally fine, but I don't think I'll ever see it again. And if you didn't know, the plot is that Bill Pullman's character goes to Haiti, and he finds this thing going on where like these people are literally bringing people back to life into zombies with this drug used or this powder used in the movie, and he's got to figure out what is going on in this area. And I thought that it does have a cool like story to it. It's very unique, but I just thought for some reason I can't get behind it. I don't know why. I thought that the characters were totally fine, but they weren't like super interesting. And I thought that there's some cool Wes Craven visuals, but this is not a typical Wes Craven movie where it tries to be like the whole movie basically up until the end is basically just like, and I know this is a fantasy movie, but it feels like just a plain movie where Bill Pullman's going around trying to investigate. Then by the end, we get these cool visuals, these cool effects, where it's like really did feel like Wes Craven. But the first like hour of the movie, it wasn't boring, but it was just it felt kind of plain. Like it was a plain type of movie, even though the idea is really cool and unique and using this kind of voodoo to bring back people and turn them into zombies. Like I like that. I think that's really unique and that's cool, but the characters weren't really that interesting to make note of. They were okay, and then the plot up until the end was just all right, and then the ending was a little better. I thought the ending did build up something good, but it wasn't great. It was just like a cool build up in the very end. And it had some cool things going for it, but I just thought that this was kind of honestly really forgettable. Like, it's not a bad movie at all. It's definitely not a bad movie at all. Wes Craven did a good job directing this movie. I think he did, but it's weird. It's such a counterproductive thing where, like, I think this is so unique, but it makes it so forgettable because I think whenever I watch a movie that's unique, I remember it, but I felt like this was so forgettable. Unfortunately. And Bill Pullman's in it, and he's totally fine, but he's just not, like I don't remember anything from his performance, other than though he screamed a lot at the end of the movie. So I don't know. I just felt like this movie was pretty plain. Like it just didn't have as much typical Wes Craven type of directing, even though it's weird to say because he directed it himself. But it just didn't feel like his type of movie, and it felt like the movie is just not very interesting, despite being unique and me giving it props. Like I'm giving this big props because this movie is very unique and interesting, but it's just not. It's not very interesting. It's kind of boring. The first hour, and then the last act is good, but it never made me think that I'm gonna rewatch this again. It was very forgettable in my eyes. And people go see this movie though. Don't look at my opinion and think, oh, I'm gonna hate this. Go and see this. Just to make your own opinion. So I really think I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. I thought it was just middle of the road okay movie with a cool premise, but everything about it was just kind of bland. Like it just wasn't Very interesting. So actually, this might be my least favorite Wes Craven movie I've seen so far. Maybe, because I didn't even like The Last House on the Left, and that was one of my least favorites too, surprisingly. Like, I really didn't like the original one that much. So it's either this or that one that I dislike the most out of Wes Craven movies I've seen so far. So, man, I feel bad that I don't like this movie. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. I just think it's kind of forgettable and kind of average. So, it's unfortunate. I wish I liked this more. So, I don't know. Well, I thought this was totally alright, but a little forgettable. So, what did you guys think? If you've seen it, tell me down below. Comment, rate, subscribe, all that jazz. So, thanks so much for watching.